Yes.
Thank you,
Cheers.
ladies, for being here. We're about to have a dope-ass conversation.
Yes. Cheers.
All right, are we ready, y'all?
I'm always ready.
Get the fuck off the phone.
Yes. And take that Dunkin' Donut cup out. We don't promote them.
No, we're Starbucks over here, okay?
Me lo brindaron, Dios mío.
No,
we don't promote
we
them.
do not. Okay, we're bougie on this.
They're shitting on my free coffee.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Watch Us Thrive podcast. This is a special one, y'all. You can see we're out here elevating. We're doing a lot of amazing things, and I'm so excited to have my very first in-person panel.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Yes.
This is just the beginning.
Just the beginning. And I'm super, super excited to have this conversation today, focusing all around self-love, healing, the shit that we've gone through. Definitely going to have an amazing conversation. But before we even get started, I want y'all to introduce yourselves to people who are meeting you for the first time. Josie, we're going to start with you. Let them know, who are you?
I am Yosi Maldonado. I am a business coach. And I am an event planner, and I am a mom. I own a studio space. I just launched a podcast. I'm just like the shit. So that's pretty much it.
Yes, she is. Absolutely.
Jack of all trades, yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
Yes, and this is her beautiful studio. So thank you for hosting us, my love.
Of course.
Love it.
Excited.
Hi, I'm Lisa Dominguez, and I am a powerhouse. And I am a spa owner, a mother, jack of all trades in my own right. And I am here to service the world.
I like that. These adjectives that y'all are using, okay? I need to step my shit up.
No, those are the big words I like.
Okay?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I like to say the multifaceted mama. I am a mother, teenage young man, very proud of that, career-driven in very passionate industry, very nurturing and caring, and also a podcaster, Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I consider myself a writer too. So, we're here, we're doing the thing. Lovely, lovely environment right now, and grateful to be here with you ladies.
Yes.
Thank you for trooping out here.
Yeah,
you came all the way from the BX, girl.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
And I really like being a tourist. I really do.
Yeah, I love
that energy today. It was like my eyes were just like wide open. I'm gonna come out here more often.
She was excited to see Raymore Flanagan.
Yeah,
I know. She was like,
there
oh
was
my
a
God.
whole Raymore and Flanagan outlet.
I need you to grow the fuck up.
Listen, I'm in the Bronx. We don't get.
She said there was a Raymore Flanagan out.
And I appreciate you for coming out here. You didn't have to, but I really appreciate each and every one of you to have this conversation that is really, really important, especially to me in the season that I'm in right now. So I just want to say thank you. Please be as vulnerable as y'all are comfortable with. We're going to have some deep ass conversations that the people need to hear. Let's get started. Let's jump right into it. The first part that we're going to talk about all things relationships and why women especially need to stop settling for less than what they deserve. And I'm sure the four of us can all agree that we have been in some shitty relationships at some point in our lives, and we've definitely learned from those experiences. So I would love for y'all to share a time in your life when you found yourself to be in that type of relationship that was not serving you, was hindering your growth, was making you feel like shit. Please talk about that.
I definitely want to highlight the post-divorce time when you are questioning yourself. I was 22. I did not at all think I would be a single mother, divorced. When you come from a religious background, oh my God, how can you got married in the church? You're worried about what people are going to say. From that is where I am today. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say because I live so much in that. It was hard to be in a relationship, in a marriage. And shout out to my ex-husband because we get along very well today and we co-parent very well. But back
which is unheard of. Like, can we just say that? Because there's a lot
that.
of relationships when they come to an end, like y'all end up fucking hating each other.
Yes.
Well, it usually starts that way.
Yes,
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does. It was a horrific time after that divorce cost more than the wedding. That's how bad it was.
How long were y'all together?
Girl, it wasn't even that long. And the marriage lasted even shorter. It was like literally 6 months after we got married. I was like, I'm done.
Wow.
No, it literally was night and day, the switch up. It was serious.
Do you think it switched up once y'all got married, or was it?
Realistically, the flags were all there.
We're gonna talk about that, girl.
Today, I could honestly say the flags were there. I chose not to see it. On my wedding day, I said, I don't want to get married.
Ooh.
And my sister said,
Before you walk down the aisle?
I was in the hair salon,
Ooh.
makeup done, hair done.
Okay.
My sister said, Dean, we leave right now. And then someone else said, no, you have to get married, even if you get a divorce.
I'm sorry.
And
Who
it was
person?
Right?
Listen,
Who we fighting?
well, let me be honest on that. It was actually an even closer family member. And today, part of the forgiveness piece of it all, forgiveness to myself and forgiveness to my family, who I absolutely love, is being able to talk about that. And to that person, completely acknowledging how there was not enough support in that moment. I appreciate that wholeheartedly. I appreciate my sister who was like, girl, like we just run now, hair done and everything. But there was a lot of guilt, even for me. There was. I want to say that part of that had a lot to do with immaturity. Part of that had to do with, I thought I was grown. I left my house at 19. I had to how could I come back?
Right.
Oh my God, what are people gonna say? Oh my God, my parents. Yeah, and no, I have to do this. And the chest comes out even more. I have to do this.
Yeah.
And so it was really, really dark times. It held me back. I was graduating. I graduated. I was entering the entry level industry, the workforce. It got to the point where it was like, I want you to come up with me. So you go to school, I'll handle everything. And that still wasn't enough. That still was not enough. So it was holding me back.
Yeah.
There were certain things that was holding me back. And honestly, I give thanks for that experience. It opened up my eyes a lot to even some of the bullshit I dealt with after that. It was like, I caught on to it. And I was like, no, this is stopping here. Now this has gone way too long. I am grateful for all of that.
That's such a growth mindset to have, because I'm sure you didn't feel that way in the moment. But being on this whole personal development journey, I say this shit all the time on my episodes. I would not take away anything that I experienced, especially that relationship that was physically abusive, because of the woman that I have turned into today. I'm so fucking grateful for all of the shitty experiences that I've gone through. Did I feel that way when I was going through it? Absolutely not. I fucking hated him. And part of me honestly still does, even though I've gotten to the point that I forgive him for what he did to me, I'm a human being. I still have feelings. I still have some resentment towards the situation. But at the same time, I'm so fucking grateful for it, because I've grown so much in the almost 2 years that it's happened. And I'm loving the woman that I'm becoming.
I've heard that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it takes a lot to develop that sense of who the fuck you are, and sometimes it does take those really dark moments that we go through, like a divorce, like domestic violence, like what you guys are going to share. Like, shout out to Erica Kramer. Anytime I'm able to shout her out, my former life coach. Love you, sis. She said something during Manifiesta that there is a message in the mess.
Yes.
And when I heard that, it stuck with me, because it's like, damn, there is a reason behind all the shit that we've gone through. You understand what I'm saying? But when you're going through it, I'm just thinking, I want to fight this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you, hate you, I'm wishing the worst.
Is a real thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing, my love. I appreciate you. We're going to go with you next, sis. Talk about your toxic relationship before the healthy one that we're going to talk about later.
So, it's really interesting, because listening to everything you just said, we know it's not right. Oof.
Sit on that. Anyone who's listening, I know that y'all could fucking relate to that. We know. Yes, please. We know that it's not right. But yet we choose to ignore the red flags like you talked about. Same with me. I'm sure all of us have experienced that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And it brought me back to my really first relationship ever in my life, which was with, you have your first love, your first whatever. And I remember the small little signs. Something used to bother him. And we were like young. We were like 15, 16 years old. And he used to be like, your shoes are untied again. And he used to physically tie them really tight. Boom, boom. And I was like, wow. Like, I always think back to that moment, because I looked at him tying my shoes so aggressively that I was like, I knew then in that moment that was going to be toxic. And it was. It was the first time that a man hit me in that relationship. But I knew before I got hit by this boy, because he was a boy, I was a girl. That was the problem. The way he tied my shoes was a problem. That was the sign. I didn't have the tools to understand that. My family spoke aggressively, pushed and shoved a little bit in the relationship. So is that normal? Yeah, it is normal. But it was an awareness. I remember exactly where I was when he tied my shoes like that. And he did it a lot throughout the relationship. But that's something that stands out to me, because if I would have married, let's say years later, I would have married him, that run, let's run now, it was from that day. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first being 15.
That's such an impressionable age. That thinks about my daughter. She's about to be 14 this year, and the crushes are starting and the hormones are raging. And I try to be so open with her with the shit that I've gone through, and she knows everything that I've gone through. And that's a complete 180 from my experience growing up with my mom. I never felt safe talking to my mom about the real shit that I was going through. If I failed a test or if I liked the boy, there was no way that I was going to sit down and tell her, because she would have fucking yelled at me and be like, who the fuck no? You know what I'm saying? And that fear was instilled in me. And I definitely did carry that into the relationships that I found myself in.
And it's like that came from her protecting you.
Yeah.
It's just in her way. That was, for me, the beginning of my toxic relationship, because then I felt like I had to prove myself to a man that did that to me. As I grew up, I was still hormonal. So the next one, I was like, oh, when this other guy talks to me that way, I'm going to check him. But then I was too much. Excuse me, don't touch me like that. That's who I was. I was fucking toxic. But it came from that.
I'm glad you said it.
Yes.
I'm glad you said it.
I had to take responsibility, because now I'm taking it out on him.
Yes.
Because of the other guy.
And it becomes a chain reaction.
Absolutely. The flight or fight, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, did you just talk to me like that? Yeah, no, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it comes from not talking about it.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anyone this. Maybe someone would have gave me worse advice, or someone probably would have gave me great advice.
Right.
And I could have taken that. For me to be so aware at that age, I probably would have taken the good advice. That's why before I was like, I'm sorry, who told you to know you can't do this? Because if someone's feeling that, we have to listen. We don't listen. The majority of us don't listen.
Nope.
We're like, no.
We don't listen until it's
here.
too fucking late.
Yeah, everyone's here. The whole like, what are people gonna say? We just spent all this money. But it's like, what really matters is what you just said, right? What she said about like, yo, I don't think I could do this. That's all I gotta say right there.
No, I mean, that's fucking perfect. You are literally speaking for so many people who have found themselves in those similar situations. That's why I appreciate having these types of conversations with a majority of women, just letting us know that like, yo, you are not alone in the situation that you're going through. You're listening to firsthand experience of a whole bunch of different types of relationships, but there's like a common theme going on. You understand what I'm saying?
A little background, obviously, for those that don't know, I have a 20-year-old. So I started very young, looking for what I thought was love.
Right.
And to me, I associated love with intercourse. So I thought everything was fine.
Me too.
For years. I just thought, oh, well, we're having sex. Everything's fine, right?
Yeah.
I didn't need the hugs. I didn't need the affection. What was that, right? Coming from a household where the love and affection was missing, not blaming my mom, but it goes back. And I learned this from Lisa.
Right.
Our parents don't know because that's how they were raised. So if we keep going the way we were raised, that switch doesn't happen, we're going to keep doing the same shit, right? So I had kids young, same father. And I kept saying, I don't want a broken home. My mom, we have a broken home. I want to be different. I want to stay. I want to figure this out. Until I said, I don't want this, and then I got pregnant with my son and I still didn't want it. The idea, like I was like, and then my mom, no, pero you guys have 2 kids now. It's going to be fine. And I'm like, you had 3 and it wasn't fine. So why do I have to say? And I know she wanted what's best for me in her mind. It was stay with the father of your children. Don't do what happened to me, yada, yada. And I appreciated it to an extent, but I was like, this isn't my ending point. We can be parents to these children, which we are now. Like the whole we didn't vibe for a while, that happened for a long time. And he knows that. And it's not a lie. Like we were kids.
Yeah.
We were kids raising kids.
Right.
What the fuck were we doing?
Learning.
Yeah, we were literally like when my daughter, I look back, I'm like, I don't even remember how I fed her sometimes. I don't remember a lot, but I remember that I got through.
Right.
Like each day. And then when my son was born, he was born 5 days before my 25th birthday. And I'm here like, no, we're going to be fine. We had 2 kids together. And then it was like, we still don't really like each other. Like we liked each other. We were cute crush, high school. We've been together since freaking high school. Like It was a high school sweetheart type vibe. Everybody's like, oh, you guys are so cute. You guys are so cute. Beautiful family. But it's like, yo, you could have the most picture perfect family because you guys are attractive, your children are beautiful, and have a motherfucking wreck going on behind the scenes. No one is gonna tell you.
Yes.
And also no one is gonna save you.
And that's what people do now.
Yeah.
They sit in their own shit alone.
Like a pig in shit, but not happy. And it wasn't him, and it wasn't the next guy. I realized recently it was me.
She gonna make me throw my fucking phone.
Am I the drama?
Yes. Yes.
Am I the problem?
Yes.
But not literally like I was
Right.
the problem. But I kept advocating for everybody that I was with. No, he's gonna be fine. We're fine. He just needs to do this. I just need to do this so that he could do this. I just need to fix this for him to be better. Let me keep trying. But I tried mad shit in different relationships to say, I got this. Like, I could fix him. I fix people all the time. I could fix this one too. Let me fix this one too. And then it was like, who the fuck is fixing me? So last year, I literally dedicated, not even last year, the year before, I started with therapy, with coaching. And I was like, I need to find who Josie really is. Because I would blame other people, but I was in my own way.
Drop the fucking mic, y'all.
Yo.
Yo.
I'm not dropping it.
No, this is expensive. Okay, guys. Josie, I'm so glad that you said that because literally that is how I started my healing journey. When I fucking realized I was a part, not the whole thing was not my fault, but I definitely played a role in the relationships that I was attracting.
What I realized growing up is, like Lisa said, nobody listened, right? Yo, that's facts. People would tell me things and I'd hear it, but I wouldn't pay attention. And for a while, this was my thing. Friends, family, relationships. I just, okay.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
That's the next part of my question. Like, why do you think so many of us stay in those types of relationships way past the expiration date when we know we saw it the first time? She didn't want to walk down the aisle, but she stayed.
Your wedding.
The day of her fucking wedding.
hard.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's
why
huge.
do you think?
I stayed because I felt like I could fix them. He's fine. A little bit of sex, a little bit of love, a little bit of whatever. We're good.
Yeah.
So to me, every fight was fixed with sex. Oh, we had a fight, but if we have sex, we're fine.
Yeah. And we
That
don't talk
fight,
about
no.
it afterwards. We don't talk about it.
But growing up, where people don't tell you, yo, you can't fix the situation with your vagina
or your penis.
or whatever, like in a sexual, like, oh, but in my mind, since I was so used to relating love with that type of affection, I didn't realize, yo, we should talk about this. So I would stay. Oh, we had sex, we're good. Oh, we're talking, we're good. Like, we're talking. We're watching a movie, we're good.
I think that's why I stayed in a relationship for 8.5 years. Literally.
And also, it's the comfort.
I don't want to start over.
This is your, I don't want to start.
I don't want to meet someone new.
I literally just got out of a 5-year relationship and I've been alone since. And I was like, I got to start over soon. But I have to start over soon eventually because I'm not destined to be alone. But I'm also not destined to just be with anyone. Not after all the work that I've put into myself.
Come on.
And not for nothing. I bring the motherfucking tree stump that will build the table.
Yes.
So you're not going to tell me you bring me a fucking silla.
I think that you guys were really agreeing with the whole sex part. And for me, since I suffered sex abuse,
You were the
couldn't do
opposite.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we just fought. No, we can't have sex.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, are you taking that out on me? So it's interesting, right? Like,
Oh, everybody's dynamic
Yeah,
is
no,
going to be
absolutely.
different because of the way we're
no,
wired for a little
absolutely.
bit.
And our
then-
experiences.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of times where I would hear this, like, oh, that makeup sex. And I was like, oh, no, that's
Yeah.
not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Makeup
Because
sex is
it took
aggressive.
me,
Right.
aggressive. So, like, going through that type of experience, I was like, well, I don't want to be handled like that from a fight.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
if that ever happened to me, I probably would see it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a different perspective.
Right.
But it's just interesting because I know there's a lot of people that have been sexually abused. So it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they feel that too. And they probably would give in because that is your partner. But in the back of your mind, having intercourse, because that was the thing for me with previous relationships where I felt like, damn, is he mad at me and he's taking it out on me? Like, I didn't like that feeling.
Yeah.
So for me, like, sexuality is great and I love it. But it's also like I'm very cautious with who, you know what I'm saying? But that comes from sexual abuse because a lot of people, when we're together, she's like, oh, I'm so open. I'm like, I am too, but with the right person.
I can have a conversation about sex for hours because I am open with that topic because I did start young. But to be honest, I was just fucking. Never had sex in the past for me.
Oh, damn.
I didn't know what it was to enjoy myself. I didn't know
Yeah.
what it was to enjoy the moment. I just knew what it was to please my man.
What you just said makes sense. Why you said, "Oh, I'm gonna fix him. I'm gonna do
Yes,
this."
because
It's the same thing.
I was always the provider
Yeah.
in one way, shape, or form in every relationship. So when people now try to do for me, I'm like, nah, I got it. I could do it.
Right.
But
that's why I
but
said
lately,
before,
I'm like,
receive.
oh, mira lo que me dieron. Qué bonito. Like now, I when any little thing is given to me, it could be like, yo, I bought this for you or whatever. I'm like, wow, thank you.
I love when people give me things.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to like, yo, look what I got you. Look, I thought of you.
And no one
hey, look,
thinking of
and
you.
no one thinking
No
of
one.
me. So
Yeah.
the little gestures,
I was
yo,
there.
are you
I was
hungry?
there.
Yo, did you eat?
Yep.
You want something to drink? Whatever. It's not about can you pay my bills. It
No.
would be nice. But I'm so used to providing for me that I don't know what it's like to have someone to be like, yo, I got everything. Because I would probably not even be okay with someone 100% handling all my life stuff. But it's the little things where I get like I said, did you eat? How are you feeling?
Right.
Are you good? Even those things, I'm like, wow, that's love now to me. But when I took the love language test, I don't know, maybe if I take it now, it might be different. But my first one was acts of service. It's always been acts of service for me. Like you took my garbage out.
Y'all know
wow.
what yours is? What yours is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Mine is actually physical touch and words of affirmation. The person who told me you could get a divorce anyway was my mother.
Oh.
And
Wow.
part of that, and the reason why I love sharing this part is because Josie and Lisa just said it. My parents didn't know what was really going on. I didn't have the face to tell them what was really going on, right?
Yeah.
She saw it as you know, that's how you feel on the wedding day. Like, it's
Yeah.
fine, you know, if
jitters,
this doesn't work, you know, you just get a divorce, but it's fine.
Right.
You know what's crazy in that moment? Not precisely in that moment, but in that moment, I understood my mom could never understand the times that I was in. I could never understand the times that she lived, you know?
Right.
And only today, years later, we really understand each other. And I think that's what has helped my relationship with her, because I was always butting heads with my mom. Always growing up, I was always butting heads with my mom. But today, I value her way more, seeing her as a wife to my dad still, seeing her as a mother to all of us, because we ain't easy. Just seeing her as a woman, seeing her strength on a different level, I understand her in a different way. And I'm grateful that she now understands me. And she says, like, it's funny, I tell her, I'm like, I think you're brave because you stuck it out. She's like, I think you're brave because you walked away. Like, we've had that conversation woman to woman.
Right.
And I'm forever grateful for that. The other piece I want to share, because I appreciate Lisa sharing this, I also used to think sex was the way. I remember when I was getting married at the Bachelorette, someone, I can't remember who, but someone said, you know, you could go to bed angry, but his thing and your thing can't. You know, don't ever let
Back then, I probably would have been like, yeah, girl.
Yeah. So everybody, no. And again, thinking of the different generations, thinking of what type of advice was being given to our elders, right? Like, how is it that you hold down your home, cook, clean, you know, you're available to him, like that. You know what I mean? Because in those times, who would ever hear that a woman would be so career driven? Who would ever, you know, she's supposed to be at home, right? Yeah. So little things like that, it took years for me to realize, why the fuck that was part of the advice for my marriage to succeed. I don't know, but it was. I didn't realize until about age 30, I'm 37, in speaking with a therapist, that an experience I had as a teenager, early teenager. No, actually, I was 11 or 12 years old. The other person was an early teenager. It was a form of molestation, and I didn't realize that. I just thought it was curiosity of what was happening. Wow. They were still young, I was young. And so one of the things I realized I did when I decided to experience sexual activity, that was me taking charge, taking control of my body. I would dictate what would happen at a very early age. And when I hit 30 and I realized that through therapy, it was like, oh, I've been doing this shit wrong this whole time. And so then I had to learn how to take charge of my body. And so today, now at 37, and you know, in between, I've been able to say, I am a very sexual liberated woman because of that experience of realizing what that situation was when I was 11 or 12 years old, all the years of how I used to fix issues with sex, and then where I am today, where I can actually say, oh, there's maybe one person who I've actually felt safe enough in a relationship sexually where it was for enjoyment. Of course. You know, where it was, I talk my shit sexually, but also certain things are between me being that person. So I wanted to add to that because you guys have created such a safe space to share that.
Yeah.
And it's important to know those different journeys. So I appreciate you ladies for sharing that so much.
Thank you, y'all.
Yes, of course.
I appreciate you see, this is why, like, I have my set list of questions, but I don't know where the conversation's gonna go. And I fucking love that part because, like you said, it's such a safe space for us to really have these conversations. And someone on the opposite end who's listening is be like, damn, maybe that will give them the push to be able to speak up and talk about their own experiences and start their healing process. And that's why, like, I appreciate y'all so much for coming on because these types of conversations can literally change the fucking world, but we need to have them. So thank you, ladies, so much. I really appreciate
I think that's beautiful because sex is supposed to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it is healthy for us.
Yes.
And it is healthy for both parties.
Yes.
So, but understanding if you are uncomfortable,
Yes.
how to speak about that and who's the right person to speak to about that when you are uncomfortable.
Yes.
So sex is supposed to be great and amazing. It's a pH balance for our whole vagina. I mean,
That's
come on,
right.
hello.
It is.
That's great.
That shit will freak
You know
out.
what I'm saying?
What is
so
this?
sex is supposed to be enjoyable and it's okay and that's something intimate. However, intimate can be in whatever way. If
Right.
you're
Yeah.
single, you want to sleep around, that's on you. If you're with someone, you know what I'm
Just
saying?
be safe, please.
Yes, please be safe. But
There's a lot of dirty motherfuckers out here, okay?
And bitches.
and bitches.
And motherfuckers, it's for both sides.
Motherfuckers. Lávense la cuca.
And you know, like for me right now, I'm on my journey of celibacy.
Okay, how
Yes.
long, girl? Damn.
It's gonna be 2 years.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yes.
I can't wait for you to pop your cherry.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna wait for you, but I
So does
can't.
that
Yes.
mean you don't masturbate either?
I do nothing.
Okay, no, that's good.
Nothing.
That's good. No, because that is part of
No, I know, but I do.
I just love how she acts that
She's like this,
question.
literally. She's like,
So
so there's
I
no
love-
Because
masturbation.
I
Okay.
waited, I was 9 months after one of my breakups,
fucking
and it was
dead.
just for myself.
yeah.
It wasn't like, no, I'm not gonna.
I didn't plan it. It's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
like, you know, I'm writing down in my notebook.
It's not for,
I'm gonna,
it's not for Lent.
no, bitch.
Yeah, because you're.
I totally use Lent for these moments.
I was like,
have no
damn.
shame. I have no
No,
shame.
I don't even know how many days it's been, but it's gonna
I
be
get it.
2 years, and
Okay.
I'm in no rush
Good.
to meet
Ooh,
someone.
that's
I
gonna be
feel
so
like,
much fun.
yeah,
Yo,
they're more excited than I am.
Text us
Like, ooh.
so I can get you another
Like,
ladies.
ladies, guess what?
Literally.
The recap of this one will
recap.
be when that happens. We're gonna come back. So
No. We're focusing on Leanne
that's
right
what
now,
I'm
okay?
saying. When we
That's
come
right.
back, it'll be
Right.
just on.
Yes. Yes.
No, this is awesome.
Okay, but no,
That's
like
awesome.
I just feel like for me, the next time that I do decide to engage in adult activities, it's gonna be with someone that fucking matters to my life. I've been that type of girl who would just give myself to anyone because I didn't want to be alone, because I fucking hated my own company, and that's why I was attracting those toxic type of people. And now being on my journey, being celibate, it just makes you go so within.
Mhm.
Like you're not using this distraction of the penis
Yes.
or the vagina for, you know, if
Mhm,
that's your vibe, and you really just reflect and learn so much about yourself. And right now I don't want that distraction at all.
Honestly, I commend you for it. I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna front. Like, I don't know if I could go that long.
Disciplined
I'm very
woman.
disciplined.
Yeah.
So I know I
Good.
can.
Yeah.
I just never felt like I needed to.
Mhm.
That's
I knew
fine.
I needed to. After that last relationship, I
But
was like,
that's what I'm saying.
it was a hard stop.
Our breakups were very
Right,
different.
right.
You know, my breakup wasn't as intense.
that's the perfect segue to the next question.
Oh, well, all right. Should I just keep talking?
Yeah, well, let me ask the question first, because now I do want to talk about breakups and the process that can be very uncomfortable. And a lot of people skip that healing part needed in order to heal from the heartbreak. For me personally, especially my last relationship, it was, and the 8.5-year long one, it was definitely like grieving a death. That's how serious it was for me. 8.5 years, that was my person. But I also feel like breakups can be breakthroughs. So I want to know y'all thoughts around the breakup process and how can we truly heal from a broken heart.
So I think I'm the most recent.
How long has it been for you?
A little over a year. So
That's still super fresh.
it's super fresh.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's super fresh for me because I know how to throw shit under a rug and not deal with it. I did that in
Yes.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna get back together. Then it hit me where I couldn't fix it. And then it hit me where, because you know, there's the stages.
Uh-huh.
you're sad, then you're fucking pissed off. Then you're like, wait, I'm a bad bitch. And now you're
and then
okay.
you're back to sad.
And then you're like, let me cry a little bit. I'm still not done.
Right.
So I felt like I went through all of that, but I never talked about it. I just dealt with it on my own, and I entertained myself talking to other people, not engaging in anything, but like to entertain that, because I realized in this last year, this is something I always did. I spoke to you about this in the live. Un clavo saca el otro, right? So my mentality was, well, whatever, I'm not alone, so I'm fine. But then I was like, I need to not talk to anybody for a little bit. Like, I don't even want to deal, because
shut it down.
Yeah, like I'm good. Like I still can have conversations, but not those conversations that were entertaining that little part of me that needed that excitement. I didn't know what it was like to be in my own company. I didn't know what it was like to sit home and watch TV alone, because I got used to having the company. I also didn't know what it was like to just be with my child alone. So when that started happening, I was like, this is nice. You know, I didn't get to do that with my daughter, which she now lives in Florida, and it's really difficult to mend the relationship that we have, because when she left, it was a rocky space for us. So now I have my son that is like my little man. And I'm like, I don't want to do that again, where we're only okay if there's another person in the room, where mommy's only here present because her man is here. So now I took that time, a lot of months last year, and I was like, oh, let's watch TV. Let's do this. I started doing little activities with him, hanging out more family. Like, Lisa, let's get together, the kids, whatever. Because I was like, I need to figure something out. I'm open with it now because I used to not be able to talk about my feelings. I didn't know how to talk about my emotions. I didn't know how to show affection. I didn't know how to do any of that, because I didn't come from a home of that. So my children were raised the same way I was. That whole hug me before bed started because of my last relationship. I told you this. The affection in me opened up because of my ex. He was very affectionate that I would be like, yo, I didn't secretly love it. I really was like, bro, you want to fuck? I literally thought.
Like you were the dude.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Like, because
like, no, bitch,
my
I just want to hug.
Yeah. He would literally be like, yo, why is everything sex? And I'm like, is that not what you want? Because I didn't know that intimacy wasn't just sex.
Absolutely.
I went on my first retreat last summer, and there was a sex therapist, and they had an activity. This is when I hit me that I was like, I have a little problem that I need to fix. Because they said, let's all write what is pleasurable to us. You know where my mind went? Everyone's like,
oh, we know.
I love reading, walking in the park. I'm like, y'all bitches is boring as fuck. And then I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what are we talking about? And then I openly said, look, I wrote some other shit, and I'm not even going to say it, but I'm sure you ladies know, but I'm like, I never related any of my life to being pleasurable, except for in the bedroom. So I have to reframe my brain to realize, oh shit, I do enjoy going to the gym. I do enjoy getting my nails. Those cause me pleasure in another form that I didn't relate it to that word, because pleasure to me was always sex.
Yo, that's fucking powerful, bro.
So when that day I was like, I'm gonna need to rewrite this list and things that I like.
I'm gonna need to go with it.
I'm gonna go home now. So I was like, oh, y'all talking about regular shit? All right, my bad. And when I went back home, I was like, oh shit, that's when it hit me. It was my first retreat traveling alone with nobody I knew. I met women that there in Mexico for the first time. Amazing time. And I said, I gotta do this every year, because it was a me time. And I didn't have somebody waiting for me at home. I didn't have to come home to do anything. And then when I realized there was so much that I needed to change, not for anybody else, but really for me, I started reflecting on the relationship, realizing, wait, do I want this? Am I supposed to be in this? Was this really it for me? We don't have issues. Great guy, treated me well. There was no cheating, but it got to a point where it just started going like this. And I was like, we're not here anymore. And I don't think we can get here ever again. In my heart, I don't feel it. And it was really hard for me to admittingly say that out loud to myself first, before I go and tell other people.
You were in denial. I was in
denial.
As we all are.
But also it was also the whole, I don't want to start over. I kept saying, I don't want to go out there. Everybody's weird. Till this day, I'm like, I don't want to go out there. I'm not ready for that yet. I don't feel it 100% to put myself out there. So I'm not in a rush.
I think it's important to take that time within you to really reflect that a lot of us don't fucking do. I hope y'all are listening.
Yeah.
And this is why this conversation is all centered around self-love and how important it is to really find yourself, especially during a breakup. And it doesn't always need to be this tumultuous, oh my God, he cheated on me, or,
that's
he
what they
beat
always
me.
ask.
Right.
Did he cheat? I'm like,
No,
bro, no.
Like sometimes
damn.
you just fucking grow apart, and that's
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every relationship to me, people have seasons in your life.
Of course, absolutely.
Come on.
You're gonna learn from everybody something. If not, you're gonna learn from yourself because of that person.
Lisa, I want to talk about you real quick. So I know you've had your history of toxic relationships and everything, but now she's a fiance, y'all. Show off the ring.
I know, crazy.
Yes.
I said I would never get married in my life.
Really?
From when I was young, yeah.
Wow.
So this is a big deal.
Well, now she's getting married, y'all.
I am, straight up.
Yes. And you found that healthy relationship despite the shit that you've gone through.
Yes.
And I really want you, especially for my listeners, letting them know, what was it for you that you feel like you were able to attract a person on your same level, who's healthy, who's doing the work, who understands you? Like, y'all are right here. I be seeing y'all on Instagram.
We're
y'all.
right there.
Yeah. So talk about the healthy relationship.
Yeah, it is very beautiful because I started doing a lot of work a few years ago, but I always had like belief in myself that I'm like, okay, let me not break up with this person right now because it's so toxic that they're going to hold me back from doing this little work right here. So let me just kind of like pretend I'm okay with everything because they really hold you back.
Right.
When you're in toxic relationships. So I was very strategic, especially in my last one. It just felt like I was doing everything because we are those people. And before you mentioned and Josie mentioned that, I want to fix them. I want to do that. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You know why? Because that's showcasing that you have a great heart. And I really need you guys to honor that.
Yeah.
Because when you go the extra mile for someone, it's because it's coming from you. But is it the right person?
Right.
So that's where intention comes in. And that's how I found my man. Before all of that was going through the pitfalls, like boom, falling in my face. And then coming back like, oh, this last relationship, let me be strategic because I know what happens when I'm like, hey, this isn't working. This is what I'm doing. And when they could see you in a freaking retreat doing yoga and they're going to go there and fuck that shit all up. That's toxic.
Talk about it.
So I was like, nope, I'm not going to tell this person what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I feel so whole right now with myself. This person does not understand me. I've talked to this person 100 times about it. I even was strategic about when I spoke to this person about this because he was in a bad mood, because he was hungry, because he was annoyed, because his job. Every time I saw that, I was like, yep, today's not the day. Strategic about it. I have to be. I went through this already.
Right.
I attracted this motherfucker. So now I wouldn't say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I would just be like, hey, I'm here. Is that fucked up in a relationship? Absolutely.
Right.
But that's how the relationship was. It wasn't a two-way street in a relationship. It was very like, you do this because that. You just do whatever you want. I said, yeah, I do it because you don't listen. Even that you wouldn't understand. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to move from this. Again, be strategic. And I'm a businesswoman. So you have to be strategic in everything. In your life, in your business, your kids, everything. Moving from that, I remember going to these retreats and I was like, damn, I wish my partner who needs to do the work, because someone who's toxic next to you needs to do the work too. But how you guys mentioned, you want to save it because you know they have a good heart. We all do. But if you don't do the work in whatever way you need to, it's not going to work. It just isn't. So I would go on these retreats and be like, hey, if you want to come, this is what it is, hoping that you want to come. It was used to be a point where Josie used to be like, yo, people are asking me if you're single, because I wouldn't promote that I was in a relationship. I was kind of embarrassed. When I don't like something, I change it, and I change it right away. I say I'm going to do this, I do it now.
Yes.
I don't think, I don't give a fuck. I'll cry through it. I'll push through it. I'll fucking yell through it. But I'm going to change it. I don't want to feel this way. So with all that I just said, I started dating really heavy in 2021. It was so fun for me. Like, I had such a good time, but I was
# living her best life.
Yes. But I was so intentional with who I was dating, because whatever you pour out is what you receive. So if you're like, oh, this happened to me and this and that, you can go through that, but you have to snap out of it quick. Because if you don't, you're going to keep attracting this happened to me. This is it. No. Move that shit aside. That shit sucked that happened to me. I'm going to go to sleep and wake up when that sun rises, and it's done. That shit is in my fucking past.
Yeah, like, lo que pasó, pasó. Ya está bueno.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Right.
As soon as I saw, like, okay, there's men catching up to the race. Right before I met Alex, there was one candidate that I was like, oh shit, this one is kind of close.
Always like that.
Yeah, he was like,
but mind you,
I remember.
But the thing is that, remember, you saw the flirtation.
I was like,
I was like, yo, I like his, like, this is going, but it's still fresh because I was still very realistic. Like, let's see. Mind you, I didn't sleep with him. I was intentional. I'm not gonna sleep with, like, that's not what I'm doing. I need to know who I'm dealing with, what the cards are. Can you deal with a woman like me? Is it a blended family? Do you have kids? Do you not like? You're scared of my questions, my man. You're not my future husband. Period. That's how simple it was. Mm-hmm. If you're scared of it and you're gonna run, thank you. And if you're not, you're an intelligent and well-rounded blended man. So that's who Alex was. The previous guy, I didn't sleep with him. It was just like a good month and a half that we were getting to know each other. And it was totally fun. He was like, okay, this is potential here. Right. I felt the vibe. But then there was a few little red flags. And I was like, yeah, no. But I noticed it like towards the end of the month and a half. I was like, yeah, that was weird. So then I kept dating. And then he was like, oh, so you're going on a date? And I was like, yeah, you're not my man. And I didn't like that. Yeah. I didn't like that either.
So the thing is, they started dating. And like 5 minutes later, she's like, I'm marrying him. And I was like,
I said, this is my
I think you're bugging.
Time out. What was it for you?
I'll tell you right now. We went on the first date first. He was on time. Number one for me. Punctuality is huge. Right. So I was like, wow. And he's Latino, right? So it's like, wow.
Check.
Yes, check. I was the one who suggested to go to this restaurant. And mind you, everyone else I was dating, they were doing it. So I was like, oh shit, what am I doing? I'm doing my homework and shit. Right. So I was like, hey, there's this beautiful place. You can see the skyline. I said, you can appreciate the views. He was appreciating the views before I approached him. So I was like, oh, okay. He's observing.
Yeah.
Observing
in detail.
And then when he comes walking towards me, he has the biggest smile on his face.
I love smiles. I love a good smile.
And I was like,
who is this man?
Yeah.
Alex True Paris.
Because it was very like, he wasn't egoistic, like, oh, I'm I'm too serious. Right. He was like, wow, you have beautiful hair. But it was so genuine. He was smiling, and I was like, I like this kind of dude. Okay, we're going to have a good conversation. We sit down, we start talking. There was one thing that he said. So he asked me, there was a lot of things. It was a 4-hour date, girl. I don't give anyone an hour of my time.
I checked on her. I said, are you okay?
Like, are you alive?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, dating. And I'm like, yo, but we were together. She's like, I'm going to go have this first date. I said, right now? She's like, yeah. But pasan like mad hours. I'm like, hold up.
What the fuck is
going on?
Where
are you? Yeah. She's like, girl, we went somewhere else. I was like,
we went to 3 different places.
Okay. I was like, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we met on a Hinge app. So I knew from his tone in the conversation that I was going to have a great conversation with him because of how he responded and how his grammar was on point. I was like, who is this?
I love me some grammar.
Who is this intelligent man?
Come on.
And he had an amazing voice.
With the periods and the commas.
Yes. Oh my God, girl.
No run-ons.
No run-ons.
And emojis. Yeah. He used the proper emoji.
So I said, before I even met him, I said, I know I'm going to have an amazing conversation with this man. I just hope that it's romantic because I'm out here dating.
Right.
But I know that if it's not romantic from my experience in dating, that he's going to be my friend. I knew that. Because this is an intelligent.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I just knew. This is how.
That's going to be 8, 9, and 10.
Okay. Well, your husband, your partner is supposed to be your
yes,
partner.
But that's so awesome. Beautiful.
And I agree with that.
She knew off the bat from the very beginning, just from the conversation.
His engagement.
And she was intentional with it.
Yes, that if this man is not going to be the one, he's going to be my friend. And that's how you know where your intentions were so pure, but you just felt that from him.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is, girl. This relationship is beautiful as fuck. So then there was one thing he said to me. He said to me, so do you have any trips coming up? You know what? I was like, actually, I do. I'm going to Arizona in a few weeks, and it's my solo trip. I was like, I actually have an itinerary. You want to see it? He said to me, of course you would have an itinerary. And I was like, how do you know? But I was like, damn, that stood out to me more than the whole date because he's listening and he understands the kind of woman I am. I'm not too much. I'm not too loud. I am just enough and the woman that he wants. I was like, oh, girl. So that was it. Yes. Like, I just knew, and he knew, too, from that point. But that comes from intention. So that's how I found my man. This is my future husband.
I love that for you so much.
We're going to celebrate.
Thank you for sharing that because, honestly, it gives someone like me who is afraid in a way to put myself back out there because of the shit that I've gone through, to know that not everyone is gonna be like my ex.
No.
I'm not gonna have that same experience, and I have to set the intention of what I want to attract in my life.
And that does come with healing.
Absolutely.
So right now, this is not the time. Maybe.
It is not.
But it could be in 2 months. You don't know.
Right.
But you have to give yourself time. You have to eliminate the distractions.
And you're doing it already.
Right.
You're being very intentional for when you are ready to get out there.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I commend you for that because a lot of people can't.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's hard as fuck. Let me tell you. Like sometimes I'll be lonely. Sometimes I want, a good morning text. Hey, beautiful, how you doing?
You want us to text you?
Someone with a penis.
I mean,
Yeah, because you want that romantic.
Right.
the
attention.
penis is
You
not
want
what's
that-
texting you. I have toys. It doesn't count.
You want that, like, that sexy attention.
No, I
Right.
get it.
But
Trust
now
me.
it's not to the point that it's like, I'm just willing to accept it from anyone.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
And that's who I used to be.
Yeah.
And that's who I'm healing from.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's like decades of just,
And that's how you will find your future mate.
right.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
I feel like it literally happens when you least expect it.
Oh yeah, I was.
And
not
you're
even-
like, oh, whatever, let me go on this date. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
to me, it was practice to go on dates because I was ready for it. And I was like, this is practice.
Yeah.
I'll keep practicing and nope. And I know what I don't want.
Okay.
So I want to know for you, since you are actively dating, when it comes to the red flags and the deal breakers, right now in the season that you're in, what are some of your deal breakers that you're like, it's a hard no, I'm not fucking dealing with it?
I love that question because my deal breakers were so unrealistic 10 years ago when I didn't know myself. For
Right.
one.
There you
Right.
go.
Two, for the record, was celibate post divorce process for 2 years. Just for the record.
Yeah.
But because of that, and let me just say, I believe so much in alignment. I believe alignment has a lot to do with why we're all here and why our stories are intertwining so much.
Yeah.
Because I then, after those 2 years of celibacy, that's when I decided when I wanted to figure out who Daisy was. And it's a continuous journey. Part of that was with my sexuality because I associated it as, oh, it's part of being a wife. I associated it as,
like a chore.
yes, or you can't say no. How do you
Yeah.
even say no? This is what a wife does, right?
Right.
And not to put that on my ex-husband, absolutely not. That was just me. That was
It's
was
our
me.
upbringing.
Yes, it's
Right.
our upbringing, right?
Mhm.
And so I dedicated to getting to know Daisy from, Daisy went to school, Daisy got a career and all that, but who is really Daisy? What is intimacy to Daisy? Intimacy to Daisy was the touching, right? But then it was, well, how do I want to be touched? Is a hug okay? Do I want you to hold my hand or can I just hold your arm? Which one makes me feel safer? And there was a lot of evolution to that. So the reason why I mention that is because through some of my past relationships, I have dedicated to knowing what did not work for me, but knowing what did work for me, what felt great, what was a beautiful moment. I can highlight where there was the red flags, but I can also highlight and see those green flags. And I know now today how those green flags made me feel. And so, do you know what I focus on? How do you speak to me? When a man who I'm dating, and I mean I'm dating, right? Or even if I haven't even dated you for that long, somehow you just maybe, I thought it could be a friend, which is why I love that you said that because there was someone I thought could be a friend until he spoke to me in a certain way. And I said, hold on a minute. I have to now question why a man, any man would feel that he can use certain language towards a woman. What does that say about you as a person?
Right.
Do I even want you in my life as a friend? And now I know when I'm dating, proper grammar, sure. But most importantly, how are you communicating? Is the what you said and then how you said it. What was your intention in that moment? If I have to question anything, that's a red flag. As a grown woman, and let me say this, I've dated in the past without any sex being involved, and I've dated with sex being involved. And then I made an executive decision whether I still want to continue this or not. I've noticed with my experiences with certain men, when there is a man who has mommy issues, it does break my heart. What happened there that you are just so angry at a woman when you are just simply having a conversation? And those are the red flags I look at and I identify.
That you acknowledge.
Someone once told me, you know what's a good way to gauge how a man would treat a woman? See how he treats his mother, and if he has sisters, see how he treats his sisters. And most important, if he has a daughter,
Yep.
see how he treats his daughter. And you can understand. It's not to judge, it's to understand who that person is.
Right.
And I realize now, looking back, the ones who had daughters, the ones who may have had their moms or their sisters involved, and the ones who didn't, I've noticed certain things.
I love that. And I definitely feel the same way when I do decide to put myself back out there. I'm going to be such a different woman. What I'm not going to do is ignore that intuition. That fucking voice, that feeling, that sensation that you have in your body, it's there for a fucking reason. And I'm not going to be the benefit of the doubt and, oh, it seems off, but let me no, fuck that.
Leanne, I appreciate you being so vulnerable and saying that. I want to say something from experience. Because I've been so intentional with that, I thought someone that I was dating, I thought I was being too hard on them. I second guessed my intuition. I second guessed, was I being picky? I even told two of my closest friends, I said, I think I'm being picky. I think maybe I should give a little bit of more grace here. When I tell you I was right all along.
But it's okay though if you are being picky.
Yes. And it is okay. And I had to realize that. And I was being hard on myself. And my confidant, he said to me, don't be hard on yourself. This is all still part of your journey. This is all you still learning. It's okay to have a setback. You didn't take steps backwards. You didn't. You're still moving forward. You're not staying stuck.
Yeah.
Daisy 10 years ago would have stayed stuck.
Yes.
Daisy 10 years ago would have found a way to find an excuse to that situation. It's like, oh, well, you know, so bad. That's not who you are today. Even if it does happen, don't be hard on yourself, because I was beating myself up about it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's all about the self-love journey that we're talking about.
I'm not physically going on dates right now and meeting new people and doing all that, but we did have a conversation and you asked me, is there anything that I'm not for? I guess a red flag. At this point, I just feel like with my experiences and where I am now, I would like to find a partner that just accepts me as I am. For me, the red flag really would just be, I wouldn't be okay with someone where they feel like I'm still above them. I have 3 businesses right now. I have 2 children, and I'm still thinking about what other business can I do? That's just my brain. I'm a business coach now, and I feel like that is what I'm destined to do. So my mentality is always on the go when it comes to work. I don't want someone to tell me like, you're doing too much, because I felt like that for a while where I'm doing so much and you're not. So I have to come back down. And I don't mean just a partner. This is friendships, family. And this is self-love goes not only just a sexual relationship.
Right. Yeah,
this is with friendships too. There's people that are going to come in and out of your life. And it could be like the bestest friend in the world. And all of a sudden they're fucking gone. Why? Because, I don't know, we're too much.
Right.
Or we have to change. Or they didn't like one thing. Or they can't have a fucking regular conversation to validate your feelings. I am at a point where I know I can have a conversation to validate somebody's feelings. Before, I didn't know how to listen. There's times where I'm like, okay, someone's talking to me about their feelings right now. Now that I can express myself, I don't know sometimes how to shut the fuck up. Now that I'm still working on, okay, now I'm excited to speak about my feelings. I would hear in the past like, oh, you're cutting me off, or like, you're not listening. And then now I'm like, okay, I'm working on the listening part. So I do want that in a partner where it's like, I am allowed to express myself. I am allowed to be myself. And I don't want to change who I am.
Yes.
Because I've put in work to be this version of me. And I still have a lot of growing to do. So if I keep growing, and I'm too much for someone, maybe we're just not it.
I'm getting teary-eyed listening to Josie say that, because that's definitely been one of my challenges. I'm too vocal. I've gotten a lot of scrutiny for that.
Right.
Not just from someone I may have gone on a date with, but family. It's a scary world out there where people think that they know you, claim that they know you, and in the moment that you have a space or a platform, not even, your voice is just that strong that people are listening. It feels like you're a threat to them.
People knew a version of you that no longer exists.
Yep.
And they want you to stay in that version. And we can't. You're not supposed to be who you were last year.
At all.
We're not supposed to be who we were in high school. That version of the friend that people, but you changed. No, I didn't. I grew up.
Grow the fuck up.
I'm still growing the fuck up. Leanne hates it. I'm always going to joke. But no, I'm just kidding.
I love
People really see Josie from high school.
Right.
So when I talk about the red flags for me in relationships, it's for all of them now. It's not about a partner anymore. It's about everyone around me. Let me do my shit and be like, yo, that's my boo.
Yeah.
Let me do whatever the fuck I want. Be my cheerleader. Let's stand next to each other and be that powerhouse. Be that power couple. And I know I'm going to find that. I know it, because I know that I need someone that can balance with me.
I mean, this conversation could go on for fucking hours, but I want to end it with each one of us letting the listeners know, what does self-love mean to you?
Self-love, honestly, that experience is falling in love with me. That is me in my worst, in my best, in my most confused state, in my most darkest, most vulnerable, most happiest moments of my life. That is falling in love with me. And as cliche as that may sound,
We love cliches on this podcast.
honestly, But the truth is that I realized that the self-love was not just me believing, oh, well, I look good in any size and any clothes, because I do look good in any size and any clothes. But it's more than that. It's not at the skin surface, y'all. It's everything that goes through my mind. It's all the feelings that I feel. Every single scar. It's every single stitch, which y'all may or may not see. Is every single lesson learned from every single pain in my heart and every single flutter in my stomach. When I learn me and I fall in love with me, it makes it so much easier to fall in love with people, to fall in love with environment, to fall in love with experiences. It makes it so much easier to be obedient, to be accepting of things, to be understanding, and still be true to myself. And I say that because one of the biggest things was I didn't want to live in fear of what would be happiness or what would be love. And because I do believe that with my self-love journey, I've been able to love myself and fall in love with myself continuously. With who Daisy was at 30, who Daisy was at 33, who Daisy was at 35, and now 37 is what I'm able to grow and evolve. And I know I'm ready to receive people and accept people. That's self-love.
Drop the motherfucking mic, y'all.
I'm ready to receive.
Yes.
That
I
fills my
am.
heart.
Yes.
Today I could say that.
Yes.
Today I could
Good,
say
good.
that.
But it's been a fucking journey. And
It
it's
has.
going to be a journey that you're always going to be on.
Yes.
And with the
always.
ebbs and flows that come with it, with more dark times that are going to come,
Yep.
with more
Absolutely.
celebrations.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you so much for your vulnerability, because it allows us to open up more and say the real shit that we tend to just leave in here because we might feel shame, or we might feel, oh my God, what are they going to say about it? We're pouring our whole truth on this episode, and I just appreciate y'all for really going there and, not holding back. I know it's going to help so many people. But I want to know for you, Lisa, what does self-love mean to you?
Self-love to me is being outspoken in a way that people can listen, because from the past, I've had the power to be outspoken, but it was defensive and there was anger. Self-love is where I can speak and people can respect my opinion, even though it doesn't match theirs, because I have a right to speak and I have a right to state my opinion, because I am a human who needs to be heard. Because I've stayed quiet for a very long time, which created the defensive, the suppression. Self-love to me is being able to be honest. I'm honest with my children in a level that they'll appreciate in time. Like me saying to you, yeah, I don't want to be around those people. That's not my thing. That's self-love to me.
I love that.
Just being so honest with people without offending them. That's self-love to me.
I couldn't have fucking said it better myself. Like, I'm going to be the last one to say it. I'm just like, how can I come up with something that's, as good as the two gems that y'all just dropped? Josie?
I feel for me now, self-love is accepting my past.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Come on now.
I still have a hard time with it.
Of course.
And
Let it out, sis. Let it out.
it takes a strong person to accept what they've gone through and try to not necessarily leave it there, but stop going back to it. My friend says all the time, I forgave myself. He knows who he is when I say this line. I want to forgive myself and be okay with the fact that I wasn't always the best mom. I wasn't always the best partner, daughter, friend, cousin, because I'm not fucking perfect. And I don't want to be. Like I said before, I want to be accepted with all my flaws as who I am, not only from another partner, but from myself. So if I keep going back to, but when I was younger, but my this, but my that, I'm not ever going to get to where I need to be whole in my own skin. I'm not officially there, but I know that when I feel that, I'm going to finally be 100% in love with the person that I am now.
I appreciate that so fucking much. That's probably one of the most honest answers that I've ever heard. And I can relate to it so much, because same with me, I'm not all the way there yet.
No.
I hated myself for a very long time.
Yeah. We both coach with Erica
Yeah.
Kramer. She's the queen of confidence. I joined her group same week almost you did, Manifiesta, because she was so confident, and I knew I was lacking that for so long because I felt like I was hiding from relationships, from all the shit. Met her virtually. I'm like, I need to be around this woman. I don't care what it costs me. I got to figure this out. And I'm still regaining that confidence.
Yes.
If you look at my Instagram, the change and the shift in my postings, I felt like I needed to hide for a while. I was always on lives in the past. I was always everywhere. And then at one point I was like, I don't want to be seen anymore.
Me too, girl.
I don't want to be seen anymore. People are going to say this. People are going to think this. People are going to do this. And then I was like, wait, but this isn't me. I am supposed to be seen. I am supposed to be heard. I have a lot of shit to say. I can help a lot of people. I launched a coaching program last year, and I have coaches tell me, like, be yourself. Everyone's gonna fucking hire you just because of who you are and how much you've done and how much you know. And I'm like, no, they're not. Why? But it's like, yo, we're all put on here to do something, to provide something. If my reason for being here is to help someone else figure it out faster than I did, then I want to do it. Because shit, the struggle is fucking real and it is not cute. Growth is ugly. It's uncomfortable. The reason I brought up Erica really is because she always says to us, she's still going through it. She's still growing. And this lady kills it every session. However multi-million she brings in a year, she still says to our face, I'm still getting my coaching. Like, she still gets her work done. None of us are officially done working on ourselves. So for me, it's like, we're always a forever work in progress. We are our biggest fucking project. That's why I feel like when I said I can help people, because I actually can relate to people now. People can actually relate to what I'm going through. I can hear people's story and be like, oh shit, I've been there. Or listen, or I say something and they're like, oh my God, I'm not alone. That whole not feeling alone right here, we all resonated with something here. Because we opened that door. Different topics, different reason, different time. I just feel like we're on this self-love journey for the rest of our lives.
And I think that's like the perfect definition of self-love, right? Like owning who the fuck you are, with the flaws, with the celebrations, with the scars, all of that shit. And not giving one single fuck what anyone has to say about it. And it's not easy to have that mindset. And of course, there are moments where the outside opinions will trigger you. But just remembering at the end of the day, who the fuck I am a good person. I am here to help people, and just continuing in that, regardless of the shit that life be throwing at us, because life is ghetto as fuck sometimes. I love all of the definitions that y'all said, because I can relate to it so much. I know so many of my listeners are going to relate to. Embrace your fucking mess. You're not. Like, embrace that shit, but also actively work on not staying there.
And repeating that.
And repeating the same fucking patterns and cycles. I feel like right now I'm definitely figuring out what that means for me. I think having my weight loss surgery has definitely helped me in finding who Leanne really is, because like you, there was this season last year when I started this platform that I was like in the socials and going live, and I was showing the fuck up. But then a lot of things in my personal life, I was still struggling through, and I fucking shut down. And it was affecting my social life. It was affecting my business. It was affecting my family. I just got to the point that I was like, I can't continue like this, because I'm saying one thing on this platform, but I'm not really living it. So it was like this dichotomy of like feeling kind of like a fraud. And I really I know that, you see, I caught that. It comes with the growth. I know that having that surgery has definitely helped me in the trajectory that I am right now. I'm not all the way there yet, but I am absolutely loving who the fuck I am right now in this season. And for me, it has been me having that season of solitude, not repeating the same toxic patterns that we talked about, and finding someone else to fill that void, because I don't want to be alone, or, I'm scared of all of the feelings that I used to feel before. Really taking this time to get to know Leanne on a personal fucking level and not have those distractions, I'm absolutely learning to fall in love with myself. Now, there's definitely moments where I'm not feeling my best. There's definitely still insecurities and lack of confidence, and, the turnaround with the way that you speak to yourself, but I'm able to catch them a lot quicker.
That's right. Awesome.
And that comes with the work.
Beautiful.
I mean,
part of your journey.
It is. Everyone's journey.
Like catching it quicker.
Yes.
Like, oh,
She just caught it.
I just caught it. Y'all saw it. Y'all saw it.
I love that.
Yes.
That inspires me.
Thank you.
Like,
Y'all inspired me. This
I love
conversation was so amazing. We're definitely have like a part 2, 3, 4. Before we end this, I would love for y'all to plug in how people can follow you. What's the plan for 2023? Plug in your social medias, your websites, your businesses, all of that. We're going to link that in the show notes, but just put it out there for the world to know about. Daisy.
Well, you can always find me, hopefully every single week. I will be honest, I needed to do some self-reflecting of where I want to continue. Not that if I'm going to continue, I am going to continue the show.
Thank Thank you.
This is like a teaching moment.
Okay.
I love this. Thank you, Lisa. But I needed to just kind of like, let's reflect a little bit here.
Yes.
What else is to come? But Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. On that platform, we get comfortable being uncomfortable, and no topic is ever off limits. And, it's always juicy conversations, intriguing discussions, friendly debates, whether with myself, because who better than to debate myself,
right.
or dope ass guests. Leanne has been a guest, because one thing I do like with my show Raw Talk is so much more than just keeping it real. It's about testimony, it's about your stories, it's about, like I say, you're an expert of your experiences. I know I'm an expert of my experiences. I do have an ebook. It's called My Journal to Self-Love. This is me telling you my little story, that little story that made such a great impact on how I regained my confidence. And more to come with third installment of my journey through sexual liberation. And we do have Double Dose of Raw Talk shop. There's some merch there, but definitely the ebook. Definitely want to continue to elevate. So yeah, find me.
I love
all
that.
Over social media, Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast.
Yes, we will link everything in the show notes. I want that ebook because that's perfect for this episode. Yes. Thank you so much. Lisa, let them know.
You can find me, I'm like in 2 places. I own a spa. So we are a mobile spa where we travel to your corporate business and your home. So you can go to spaoonthego.com, and we provide massage, facials, waxing, group parties, spa parties there in home. And then for my personal page is Empowered with Lisa. I do have a targeted audience, which is more people who have been in business for over 2 years, like 2 years plus, because I like to have a conversation with that audience. So I do a lot of business coaching that way in my industry, which is the spa, beauty, wellness, fitness industry. And you have to be 2 years plus in the game.
Got it.
Strategy.
And that's empoweredwithlisa.com.
That's her niche.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Everyone needs a niche, in my opinion.
Since I launched the coaching program, my main page now that I focus on is It's Josie Maldonado, which is my name. And now the podcast page, which is The Fierce Fempreneur. It is spelled different, so Leanne will tag that. And my event planning and coordination page is F&M Events. So there's 3 pages, all run by me. And I do business coaching on the one, event planning on another, and the podcast on the other. My coaching program niche down. I do coach a lot of women, but there are some men that I have coached because I am in an industry that provides for men and women. Lisa likes 2 years more. I actually like the beginning because I feel like they jump into something and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I kind of like to do the guidance where, okay, what are we doing? Because like this looks like a mess. Let's organize ourselves. Because my background is business.
Yeah.
So I'll refer my clients to you, like
The
I'm sorry,
newbies?
I don't do that.
I got someone. They call me the plug. So like I'll connect you where you need to be connected.
That's empowerment right there.
Yeah. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
Please, everyone, you can follow me. You can listen to this podcast, Watch Us Thrive, on all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. This is on YouTube. Hi to everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, leave a review, leave a rating that boosts the show to new listeners. And it just gives us the motivation to continue showing up for y'all. You can listen on any platform that you love. Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio. I'm fucking everywhere, okay? Brand new episodes drop every Tuesday at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Solo episodes sometimes on Fridays.
Well, cheers. You guys have anything left? Here.
Is there anything left?
Cheers.
Overflowing abundance.
Cheers to you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers to you guys.
Cheers to y'all.
Reviewing.
Yes,
Thank
cheers
you.
to fucking thriving,
Cheers to
okay?
Thriving.
Yes.
Come back
Amazing.
and watch us thrive.
Watch us thrive.
And continue to thrive.